So chat, I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's been going on with a content creator who I've been watching this content creator for years. For those of you guys who don't know my history on YouTube, I started out as a gaming channel. And a lot of that was because a lot of the kind of content I liked to consume in my early days on YouTube was gaming content. I was a big fan of like gaming news channels, gaming reviews, retro video game coverage, stuff like that. It was one of my favorite things to take a look at, or the type my favorite types of content to consume in the early days of me being on YouTube. Obviously, I eventually shifted away from that kind of content, but I still enjoyed watching, some of the creators of old that I used to watch back in the day. And Rich from ReviewTechUSA was one of those channels I really enjoyed. Usually, when I wanted to keep on top of what the latest gaming news was, Rich was my go-to guy for that. And Rich hasn't been having the best things haven't been great for Rich over the course of the past year or so. I won't get into the specifics, but they had an incident where their daughter got really sick, and my understanding is their daughter is still really sick. Obviously, something like that can really take a toll on you as a creator. Not even as a creator, as a parent. It could really take a toll on you when you have a child that's really sick and you have to go through that and you have to, kind of witness what your child's going through. It can be a lot, obviously, and it can put you in a not great mindset. But then on top of that, he had a pretty bad public falling out with his close friend and former editor, Jay from JKB, who's a good friend of mine. Me and Jay go way back. But it was a very public falling out, and it wasn't it didn't go very well, to say the least. Thank you.
1111 gifted a sub.
Thank you very much for gifting that sub to Any. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. But yeah, things haven't been great for him as of late. He's dealing with the stuff with his kid. He's dealing with other struggles in life, the pressure to perform well as a content creator, and then obviously like the very public falling out with his friend and former editor. It's resulted in him kind of having this like downward spiral, where in my opinion, it's been pretty apparent for a while now, he is not mentally well. Like he's not in the best mental headspace. He's probably in a position where it would be best to like step away for a bit, focus on your mental health, and then return when you're in a better mental headspace. But all of this has culminated into this post right here that they put on Twitter. ReviewTechUSA 2009 to 2024. Thank you for the years of support. I will be live streaming on RTU Streams, and they link to their RTU Streams channel. But if you look at this screenshot, remove YouTube content. Your content is being deleted. Your content is the process of being permanently deleted. Usually this takes a few minutes, but could take up to a couple days if you have a lot of content. If you don't know what this means, Rich has deleted their entire YouTube channel. We're talking about, what is that? If I do the head math correctly, what is that, like 15 years of content down the drain? 15 years of hard work down the drain. And this was a over 1 million sub YouTube channel, chat. Reaching over 1 million subscribers is something that many content creators could only dream of achieving. Like, I was happy to hit 100,000 subscribers, and this guy hit over 1 million, okay? And just completely nuked it off the face of the internet. If you don't believe me, you can go on Social Blade and you can click this link here. And here we have it. This channel does not exist. He has completely deleted his main channel, and I think that this is going to be a regret of his. As you'll see in a bit, we're going to take a look at a stream where he kind of addressed all this. He seems very confident in his decision. I think he's just not mentally well at the moment, and he's not realizing the huge mistake that he has just made. A mistake which, by the way, cannot be reversed. YouTube will tell you when you go to delete a YouTube channel, you cannot undo this, okay? Once it's done, it's done. So there is no ReviewTechUSA coming back. It's just not happening. But I think that he will realize with time that this was a huge mistake, and maybe this is something he should have thought through a little bit better before coming to this decision. But in any case, he did address this on stream. So we're going to watch the stream and kind of see what he had to say. Let me skip his intro to where it actually starts.
Fucking simp.
Thank you.
Derek Taylor gave a £5 super chat. I can't believe ReviewTechUSA deleted this channel. I'm still a little shocked.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I couldn't believe it either. We're talking about a big piece of YouTube history completely gone now. It's really sad, especially for someone like me who genuinely was a viewer of his content. It's really sad to see all that years of content gone. 15 years of videos and content just straight up gone from the internet. True. Sometimes I don't like it when people do this because I feel like he could still leave it up and not post it anymore. Yeah, like I feel like if I were to leave YouTube tomorrow, just as an example, I don't think I would delete my channel. I might private certain content. Like I have done that in the past. Obviously, when I stopped doing drama content, I privated a lot of my old drama content. But that's the thing, I privated it. So that content does still exist. It's just privated. I didn't nuke it entirely, right? So like, for example, if somebody was ever doing like a YouTube, like, video essay and they like, hey, I know your video covers this, but this video is not public anymore. Can I get a copy of that? If somebody reached out to me and they're like, yo, can I get a copy of that? If I could find it, then I'm happy to give it to them. But I privated that stuff. I did not delete it. It's still there. It's just privated. Yeah, I think if I left, I wouldn't be this drastic with it. I think I would just walk away. You know, but anyway, let's go ahead and let's see what he had to say about it. He says, ReviewTechUSA is no more. Let's celebrate. And very quickly, you can tell he's not in his best mindset here. He does not look good. I have not watched him in a hot minute. Me neither, actually, because he was one of the people that hopped on the anti-me and anti-Keffels like hate train back when that was going on. And it kind of pissed me off because he was both friendly with me and Keffels prior to that. So for him to kind of jump on the hate train, it just kind of seemed like a bit of a backstab. So I haven't really watched him since then. Having said that, it doesn't make me any less concerned about his mental state at the moment. But anyway, we're kind of like rambling now. Let's just get into it. Let me skip to where it starts. Where does it start at? Come on, where does it start?
Down
Where does it start at? Oh, here we go.
Beautiful.
Yo, what's up, Let Me Live?
Hello, everybody.
He turned into a douche and I was done with him. I have heard that he's kind of become a bit of a toxic person over the course of the past year or so. Yeah. By the way, I spotted, when I was watching this, I spotted Instagamer, aka Becky Boop, in the chat. That is a person that I have not seen in a long time, which that's allowed me an opportunity for her to kind of, and I to get in touch again. We actually caught up a little bit after this incident. So that was kind of nice, at least. Shout out to Becky Boop. But yeah, that's a name that, because they left like content creation years ago. That's a name I had not heard from in a long time. She says, guys, please tell him what a horrible decision this was. I tried to tell him and he wasn't listening. Jeez.
Oh, man, do we have a lot to talk about, huh?
God.
Thanks for the biddies.
Can't get your account back.
Thank you.
Gemini Saga 1111 cheered X 100 bits.
Thank you for the bits. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I feel like the best thing to do in scenarios like this is to just take a hiatus and see how you feel about after some time. Yeah, pretty much.
It's irreversible. Anyway. There's a lot to talk about. I'll wait for a few more minutes. Yeah, you can't get the channel back. It's over. It's man, I have so much to say. The first thing I will say, and I will make this abundantly clear, that was not a, hey guys, I'm mad today, which I wasn't. I'm going to shut down the channel. It wasn't a stupid decision. That channel... You know, there was a few straws.
You know, there's a lot of people who've covered like this situation, and they're obviously taking the approach of like shitting on him for this decision.
thanks for the
I'm
sub,
not going
you
to take that
fucking
approach. Thank you.
TransGXRL_J4 became a subscriber.
Thank you.
8 months. Big W.
Thank you very much for the sub. I do appreciate it. And also, welcome to the chat, Jade. It's good to have you here. I've seen a lot of people covering this situation. A lot of people are being like really toxic about it. I'm not going to take that approach because, you know, despite my differences over the course of the past year or so with Rich, I actually am genuinely concerned about his. I'm genuinely concerned about his mental health in this situation. And by the way, thank you for the heads up, chasing dopamine. I did fix it. It looks like Chrome crashed while trying to show the chat on screen. I'm not really sure what happened there. So it wasn't my fault this time. Anyway, but I'm genuinely concerned for his mental health despite our differences. This is clearly someone making a drastic decision when they're not in a good
Thanks for the
headspace to do
biddies, you
so.
hecking simpy.
Thank you.
Gemini Saga 1111 cheered X 100 bits.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. One thing I'll say is that, and I want to preface this by saying I hope that it doesn't come to what it came to in the person I'm about to reference situation. A lot of this reminds me in some ways of what happened to Etika back in the day. May Etika rest in peace. But prior to the tragic loss of Etika, a lot of the decisions they made leading up to their unfortunate, passing, their very tragic passing, a lot of their decisions they made were very drastic and very insane decisions similar to this. And they seemed very confident in their choice to make those decisions. Like, for example, with Etika, one of the things that Etika did was his main YouTube channel, he intentionally got it banned. So rather than deleting it on his own, like, Rich did here, he intentionally got the channel banned by uploading large amounts of pornography to the channel so that it would inevitably get banned. And he seemed very confident in his decision as well. And he seemed to rationalize his choice to do so as well. So I'm seeing a lot of similarities between what happened to Etika in that regard and with this situation. And I hope that, it doesn't escalate further towards the direction that it did with Etika. Obviously, I would not wish that on Rich. But yeah, it's kind of scary. It kind of seems like a sort of manic episode type of thing. But yeah, that is a sign. Giving away stuff, deleting stuff, good point. I don't want to make it seem like I'm alluding to the fact that I think that Rich is at risk of, self-harm or anything like that. I don't want to suggest that. I just see like maybe he's having some kind of manic episode or something, which is leading him to make these really insane decisions, which is very similar to like what happened to Etika in that regard prior to his passing. But no, I'm not alluding to the fact that I think that, Rich is suicidal or anything. And let me make that clear. At least I hope not.
That broke the camel's back with that. People that I was working with outside of here were like, hey, I checked out your YouTube comments and they were something. I'm like, oh, God. Secondly,
so is it a problem with IRL work? Is that why he did this? Because of like IRL work? Because chat, like, if that's the case, you don't have to delete. Because, okay, let's be real. If you're pursuing like an IRL career and you have a YouTube channel that maybe isn't going to look great when you're taking interviews and stuff for like potential like jobs or something like that, yeah, that could be a problem. But like, you don't have to delete your YouTube channel to deal with that. Let me see. I'm pretty sure there's an option to hide your channel. Let me double check and let me make sure there's nothing showing that I don't want people to see. 1 second, chat. But I'm pretty sure there's a way to do that. Okay, right here. So I don't want to show anything private, but if you go into your YouTube channel and you go into settings, you can kind of see right here, settings, and you click the channel tab, advanced settings, and scroll all the way to the bottom, you can click the hide channel option. It says when your channel is hidden, your channel videos and playlists won't be visible to viewers. You can choose to show your channel publicly anytime. So if this was a concern about like, seeking like IRL employment and like his YouTube channel causing problems with that, he could have hid his channel, while he's seeking employment, and then like either just left it hidden. It's still there, but it's just hidden, or like made it public after he secured a position. In fact, I know content creators who have done stuff like that. So, I mean, you didn't have to nuke the whole channel if that was a concern of yours. Like, what the hell, dude?
Had a clips
Your channel set to private? Interesting.
editor. You could debate. She was great. Nothing but positive things to say about her. You could debate the quality of how you felt about the clips, but most clips aren't S tier anyway. That didn't move the needle. And mistakes I've made too.
So it was, he's claiming it was like work. He was trying to get work outside of YouTube. And he also, like, the channel was like dead. I mean, that's kind of what happened when you allow a channel to go dormant for as long as he has. Like, that's going to happen. You're going to have to rebuild that audience when you leave a channel. Because my understanding is he hadn't uploaded to that channel in like months. And then he started uploading again. And when he started uploading again, he wasn't giving the audience the content they wanted. He was uploading highlights from his streams, which I can do that because my audience is familiar with that. That's what my audience knows my content for. So that they've come to expect that. But when you've been doing content that's not that for so long, and then you start to make that your primary content, you're going to have to rebuild the audience again. And you're going to have to like build up an audience that's into that sort of thing. Like, of course your viewership's going to be low.
Every channel that has tried to make a comeback after something, whatever is self-inflicted, you choose to say or not, it doesn't work.
Jeez, the chat is just like crazy. This was a truly moronic decision and one you will come to regret it. I think he will regret it. I genuinely think once the dust settles, he will regret this decision. Why are you so unhinged? This is pretty shitty for archival purposes, dumbass. That's another thing. This guy was very outspoken about like preservation of like media, and he nuked his whole channel without backing up anything. Like, holy shit.
It's a game room. Epic meal time.
Please bring back the channel. I love rewatching the old videos. It's gone. There's no bringing it back.
You want to go into the 8 billion different Call of Duty channels. You want to go into the Minecraft channels. You could say that my content in terms of me doing...
It's also not the first time he cries about leaving and coming. I can't shit on him for that because I've done that before too. You hit a rough patch, whether it's a rough patch in terms of your channel success, or you hit a rough patch in terms of you made a bad decision and everybody's shitting on you for it, or like, I've been in situations like that myself, so I can't really shit on him for that.
News was more evergreen.
At the end of the day, you have to remember that like the people behind the channels, they're human beings. So they have feelings and emotions just like human beings do. I know a lot of people don't like to think about that. They'd rather see the dumpster fire and not consider the feelings of the people who are making this content. But we are human beings with feelings. And as a result, we will make bad decisions. We will say or do stupid things. Humans are not machines that are like emotionless. We have emotions, and sometimes those emotions cause us to act in irrational ways. And I think right now he's acting very irrationally. And I think that his head's just not in the right place.
But I already saw it diminishing. And to be quite honest...
Jay says, I'm not human, I'm a machine. Okay, whatever you say, Terminator.
With you, and this is before any of this nonsense. To be quite honest with you, I was checked out back in 2019. And my stupid mistake, what I wanted to lean more into was live streams, was clips, maybe kind of not with guests. I would rather light myself on fire than deal with guests again.
So see, I can relate to that, right? Because like, when I stopped doing like majority drama content, I had decided like before actually leaving, I want to say it was like a year and a half before I actually left, I was already tired of that kind of content. And I was just trying to figure out how do I want to move away from that, right? So I get that. I get that you feel like you're kind of stuck in a rut in terms of the kind of content you make and you want to do something different. the fact of the matter is you just have to kind of go for it. You can't just force yourself to keep making content you don't enjoy anymore. You have to move on to things that you like. And yeah, it's going to be rough at first. There are going to be a large portion of your audience who aren't going to like the new direction you're going in, and they're going to leave you. I speak from experience. When I shifted to covering more like, progressive commentary and like, a lot of political topics, a large portion of my audience fucking left because that wasn't their cup of tea. But you have to stick with it. You got to be consistent with it. And eventually you'll rebuild a new audience that's, focused on that kind of content and enjoys that kind of content from you. Your audience may not be as big as your previous audience was, but you have to stay consistent with it. And eventually you'll find a new audience.
It's one thing that Phil is right about.
Totally nothing worse than doing something you've grown to hate. Exactly.
No, none of my videos were backed up.
You didn't back up anything. Even on the rare occasion where I've deleted a video in the past, I backed them up. Now, granted, unfortunately, the external hard drive that I stored some of those backups on, I don't know where the fuck it is. I gotta find it. But like in the past, even when I have deleted a video, on the rare occasion where I've deleted a video, I backed that shit up. He didn't back up anything.
When I was pumping, my channel has been stagnant. There were a couple pops, but it's been stagnant since about 2019. There were some months that between that where I was getting maybe decent viewership or decent growth, but it was few and far between. And every year I was struggling to get 60% of what I was getting viewership.
I'm a Barely channel and I have backups. Admittedly, like when I edit a video and upload it, I instantly delete it off of my hard drive. But if I'm, going to delete a video off of my channel and it's a video that like, there's some relevance to it where I want to keep it, I'll download a copy. I won't go as far as to say I've backed up every video I've ever deleted off of my channel. Most of my videos just got privated. But like, if I have actually deleted a video and it's something that's like meaningful where I want to keep it, I back it up, at least. But yeah.
Was. Don't believe me, you go look it up.
Instagamer in the chat says all you're doing is helping all the people who hate you. She's totally right. And like Rich is one of these people that like over the years he's had like a pretty bad habit of feeding the trolls, and he kind of like learned from it, and it made him like a better creator as a result, and it just like resulted in him not feeding the trolls as much. So to see him fall back into this like bad habit, it's just like, dude, what are you doing? What happened?
To me,
this is sad.
it would have just also on
This
top
is
of it,
genuinely
too,
sad.
I've seen people like, now granted what he did was way worse, but I've seen people like the completionist beg. I've seen other people beg for people to watch. I am not doing that. I absolutely refuse to do that. There's no way. There is no way.
Now I feel bad for him. Like, dude, yeah, I mean, because he's not in a good headspace. Like, this is not a rational person making this decision. This is a very irrational person. He's not in a good headspace.
It's amazing how quickly to
this is why people stop caring, Rich. It's too painful to care for someone who continues to hurt themselves on purpose. Yeah. It does kind of get... If you've ever had a friend that you loved and you cared about, and they were constantly inflicting pain on themselves, whether it's, financial pain, mental anguish, whatever the case may be. Honestly, it's one of those things where like it gets hard to keep caring after a while. As fucked up as that sounds, you can't continue to try and help someone that won't help themselves. It's hard sometimes. It's really hard. Honestly, Tip, if you told me that you were going to delete your channel and stop streaming, I'd seriously talk to you about it, because I know where your heart is and how you feel about doing content. We've been through a lot the last year, and I'm glad we made it through to the other side, and I'm glad you're still thriving, friendo. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. We're trying hard to rebuild. It's been a rough year and a half, going on 2 years, and we haven't quite rebuilt just yet. But I am. If there's one thing you can't say that I'm not, you can't say I'm not persistent. Okay, I am persistent.
So I'm just looking at the comments right now. Take accountability for what? What am I taking accountability for?
What is that dono sound? Is it supposed to be like a orgasmic grunt? Like, is that what that's supposed to be? What the fuck?
I've taken accountability for plenty. And here's the most important thing. How do I feel about the decision? Is what you're wondering. How do I feel about this decision that I teetered on and was going to see if the clips turn, like I said, maybe brought in a few more people. Maybe that. How do I feel about it? I feel fucking great.
See, this is what I mean about the comparisons to like Etika. Because Etika, when he nuked his main channel the way he did, when he got it banned intentionally, he was super confident about his decision too. That's why I think that this is like a manic episode or something. Because if you've ever seen somebody go through a manic episode, they will make the most irrational decisions ever that anybody can look at and say, that was a bad call. Why did you do that? Why did you make that call? Because this is not the way, my dude. And they will be like, no, trust me. This is exactly, what I need to do. This is the right thing. I've never felt more confident in a decision that I'm making in my life. And everybody around them can see that, no, this is not the way. It really feels like that.
I feel like a weight has been taken off my shoulders. I feel relieved.
Been around people who had manic episodes and it's not fun. I mean, yeah, I've had people go through them as well. People close to me.
That's the most important thing. Dude, let me keep it real with you. I'm going to let you in on a secret. You want to know how much I'm looking? Jesus, man, the comments.
Oh God.
You want to know how much that? Oh yeah, good point. You want to know how much that channel made in the past 30
See, that's another thing, is going live immediately after making this decision. Not a good idea, because you're clearly already in a bad headspace, and it's resulting in you making a bad decision already. But like to instantly go live afterwards as well, like, dude, like, what the fuck?
days with clips going up. $600. That passive.
I mean, to be fair, Rich. To be fair, Rich, I'm looking at the revenue on my channel right now, and you're doing a hell of a lot better than me. Just being honest, if you want to give me that $600, I'll take it off your hands.
Come. And I saw some comments from other.
Yeah, exactly. Wigwoo in the chat. $600 is $600. True. Yeah, for the past, basically YouTube will show you that, what is it? For the past 28 days, they'll show you like an estimate of how much money you've made. And that's what he's referring to, $600. So basically, yeah, for the month.
Creators too. This has been something I have been debating, not deleting the channel, but I wanted to completely get away from what I was doing before I even touched medical marijuana. So everyone's saying the hallucinogens, and I won't name names.
That was another thing. People started saying Tipster wants to come on, Because I did show up in chat. Did I show up in chat already? I don't think I showed up in chat yet. No. Unless he banned me and I didn't notice it. But I did not want to come on the call with him. I didn't want to do that.
I did see the comments. Please shut the fuck up and know what you're talking about.
Although, to be fair, he only gets like half of that money after taxes. So it's closer to 300. Unless he's taken the taxes into consideration.
I wanted to get away from... I was faking the funk. I wanted to get away from doing that for years.
Damn.
And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, as a longtime viewer of his, this is genuinely sad. It's really sad to see this.
I was look, now where I take blame is I didn't have the balls to just say, you know what? This is what I want to do. Review Ghost USA. I know what you're talking about. Chasing ghosts. Chasing something that's no longer there. I see YouTubers that do it all the time. I'm sure you know some. They may not say it. They'll pretend that they absolutely love it. But they don't.
I mean, that's part of the downside of like making content creation as a career. You know, every like creator dreams of it. And, you know, some people, they're successful enough to make it a career. And they are happy with their career, depending on the kind of content they're doing. But the large majority of people, when they make it into a career, it becomes their job. The joy they once had for it, they don't have it anymore. But that's to be expected, right? Anytime something becomes your job, like, of course, you're not going to love it as much as you used to. Like, for example, prior to getting into, for those of you guys who don't know, I have a day job. I work in IT, right? So I used to love working on computers. Like, that was my favorite thing to do. Building computers, fixing them, stuff like that. I got great joy out of that to the point where it used to be a hobby of mine. Now it's my job, okay? And the last thing I want to do when I get home from work is work on a fucking computer, okay? In terms of like fixing it or doing upgrades and stuff like that. Like, a lot of people shit on me because like most streamers, when they get a new PC, they'll build their own PC, right? And like only real like PC gamers build their PCs. I buy pre-built because the last thing I want to do after working on computers all day is fucking build one, okay? I just want to pull that motherfucker out of a box, do some initial software setup, and be done with it, all right? Like, I'm sorry. I just don't want to do that. But yeah, anytime you turn something that's a hobby of yours into a job, of course you're going to enjoy it less. Will you build me a PC? No. I have like sometimes like family members and stuff. They'll have like a computer problem or some kind of tech problem. And they'll be like, hey, I heard you're like a tech guy. You could help me with my computer problem, right? And I'll be like, no, you heard wrong. Nope, that's not me. Jeez. That's expected, but as a content creator, the plus is you're more your own boss and you can make your own. Yeah, pretty much. For sure. It has its advantages. It has its advantages and its disadvantages. A lot of people don't consider a lot of the disadvantages that come with being a creator. You know, having to pay taxes yourself instead of having them pulled out of your check. Having to figure that all out on your own in most cases. Having to pay for your own health insurance or find ways to get your own health insurance. Having to manage a lot of things that are part of like a normal job. You have to manage those things yourself as opposed to like your job taking care of those things for you. There's a lot of the hate that it comes with being a public figure. It doesn't matter what kind of content you create, you're always going to have haters, and not everybody can emotionally deal with that. So there are downsides to being a content creator, but I think we can all agree that the positives outweigh the negatives in a lot of ways. Just that being your own boss alone is a pretty nice little perk.
No. I won. A lot of people say you should do things for your own mental health.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's one of them.
I mean, it is true. You should do things for your own mental health. I agree. I just fear that this decision will contribute to more negative effects on his mental health as opposed to positive. Because like I said, there are other ways. If the channel really was contributing negatively to his mental health to the point where he thought like it's time to move on, you could just leave the channel. It's just there. You know, people who want to enjoy the content, they can still go and enjoy it, and you just don't create content on it anymore. You could just move on. Right? Or you can move on to like a different type of content that isn't as, you know, mentally draining on your mental health. You could do, as I mentioned before, you could hide the channel. It's not deleted. The content still exists. It's still there. It's still recoverable, but it's hidden. You could do that as well. Like there's so many other ways this could have been addressed as opposed to like, I'm just on a whim going to decide to nuke my whole channel. Like I really truly believe he's going to regret this decision later. And as a result of that, it's going to cause him more mental anguish than if he just left it up. That's just my personal opinion.
It was funny, too. Didn't want to go back on Twitter. But yesterday, I was starting to get messages asking if I was okay. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then the intro guy came to me and said, dude, are you okay? Like, everyone said that you committed suicide.
What the fuck?
So I opened up...
Wait, is that what that video on their Twitter was about? I saw a video on their Twitter. Hold on. Hold the fucking phone. Is that what that was about? Let me see if I could find this video. Here we go. Okay, this video. Is this what he's talking about?
I just wanted to confirm the very sad news that Rich of ReviewTechUSA has sadly taken his own life. He's in the bathroom right now. He slid his...
I mean, yeah, that's a pretty poor taste joke. ReviewTechUSA has sadly passed away is the caption for this tweet. And he's doing one of the character voices he's done in his videos in the past.
Wrist, he bled out in there. But one thing I wanted to show you that was really cool... my name is Seth, by the way. Pleasure to meet you. Is he has these cool little like cassette decks. Look at them all. You see he has those.
Yeah, this guy is not mentally well. Okay, this guy is not mentally well.
See all the lights right here. You got this one's the really nice one in between. I think he's still bleeding out. He might be moaning. I'll call 911 in the morning. We also got these two decks right here. They have CD players and they can record those. I think they're called mini discs. You ever hear of those? And then we got some more newer decks over here. He got these Tascam and a little bit of TIAC, and you got another Tascam over here. But he's dead now, so he can't use these. So I'm just going to take them over. So rest in...
What the fuck is this? So people got upset at him for that? Like, understandably so. Like, what the fuck?
Peace to ReviewTechUSA. This is Seth Masucci, and I'm gonna record me some tapes right now, maybe some Hall & Oates. So you have a good night.
It's fucking weird.
Twitter account, and I'm like, yeah, I can't have people thinking that I'm dead. So I uploaded a video where I was Seth Masucci and made a joke about...
Yo, what the fuck is up with the YouTube chat? It keeps doing this. Not enough memory to open this page? What the fuck is going on? I'm sorry, YouTube people, but Chrome just sucks ass. I'm sorry about that.
About the whole thing. There were some people that weren't very happy.
I think it's time to make Opera my daily browser at this point. My daily driver browser. Because, like, what the fuck?
About that, too. You know, if I went the commentary route and realized how much... You know another fatal mistake I made, too? You could
Trying to go say, he says this is why I use Firefox. I can't use Firefox. I have to use a Chromium-based browser because the chat plugin that I use on my stream, it requires a Chromium-based browser. But I'm definitely going to probably consider switching to something else. I use Opera GX for my on-stream browser. I might just make it my daily driver at this point.
Do whatever you want with my videos. Do whatever you would like. How does it make 0 sense?
Oh, here we go. I just showed up in chat. I know you can't see it yet because my face cam's in the way, but it'll come up in a second.
Explain to me how it makes 0 sense.
I said, yo, what happens? What's going on? I feel like I'm out of the loop.
Name a channel that went like this. Yes, I'm absolutely dead. I'm dead.
Tipster's fucking nuts and not listening to anyone. Tiller, by the way, used to be a mod of mine back in the day. But Tiller says he deleted his main channel. Jesus.
It's a choice that I needed to make for me. It's a choice that I thought about for a very long time. My fatal mistake was not pivoting this channel when I wanted to pivot.
What was this? He had a 2K offer to buy the channel and deleted it instead out of spite? What the fuck? Was he trying to sell the channel at some point? And if that's the case, they only offered him $2,000 for a 1 million sub channel? What the fuck? I would have shot that down too. I wouldn't have deleted the channel, but I would have shot that down too. What the fuck?
And I just got comfortable and listened to decisions that were not ones I should have. I should have listened to what I wanted. That was part of what got me a YouTube following. Everyone said I was fucking crazy for that. Everyone said I was crazy, not just on here. What a loser. You're going to do YouTube to make a living? I'm not kidding you. Both on the internet and off the internet.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like in the early days of like YouTube, when you could start making some serious money on this, a lot of people who were like turning it into a career, people thought they were fucking nuts. But like, look at it's like an actual viable career for people.
I've gotten that a lot.
The only thing is, you got to be smart with saving up some of your money though, because it doesn't last for most people. Most content creators, if they're lucky, they have like 5 years in them. Some make it longer, but it's rare. So you make your money while you can, you save it, you put some away for like a nest egg, and you got to be smart with it. Admittedly, I wasn't super smart with mine when I had my little glimmer of success. It doesn't last. So take advantage of it while you can.
Where people, not saying that I haven't been given a lot of good choices and good advice throughout the years. But when something I feel is like really here and I don't listen, it always ends disastrously.
Okay. Honestly, like, there's a hell of a lot more of this. As you can see, this was like almost a 2-hour long live stream, but I think I've seen enough. All I want to say about this is, if by some chance Rich happens to be watching this, like, dude, I don't know where your head's at right now. I know you've been going through some things over the course of the past year. I know you had the really bad falling out with Jay. I know there was like the issues with your daughter, which is really unfortunate. As I mentioned earlier in this segment, you know, any parent having to witness their child be very ill like that, like it really fucks with your head, I could imagine. So I understand you're going through a lot, but like, dude, like, obviously you can't take back the whole deleting the channel thing. That ship has sailed. It's gone. But like, I really truly think that you need to get some help. You know, seek out therapy, seek out medication, you know, some kind of professional help, because whatever you're doing right now, it's not working, and it's leading you to make very rash decisions that I know you will regret with time. I know that you will regret this decision in the long run. It may seem like you made the right call now, but I guarantee you, as time goes on, you'll start to realize that you made a big mistake. So I wish you nothing but the best. Obviously, we had our differences, and I never personally had any issue with you, to be clear, but you obviously said some stuff about me that I didn't really appreciate. But regardless of our differences, I really truly hope you get the help you need, because whatever you're doing right now, dude, it's just not working, and it's leading you down a very scary path. So seriously, get your shit together before it's too late.